Stop 7. Introduction. The content for this audio tour was selected from the catalog essay Phase Transformations, new work by Mark Davis, written by Perry Price. Perry Price is Assistant Curator of Exhibitions and Collections at the Fuller Craft Museum in Brockton, Massachusetts. Stop 8. Apollo and Daphne, MD 489. This recent body of work reveals a casual confidence Mark would surely deny with his characteristic humility. Nowhere is this more apparent than in his more monumental hanging work, Apollo and Daphne. The tension between the necessary engineering of the hanging elements and the composition is subsumed by the easy grace with which the piece is realized. In comparison to Mark's earlier work, such an observation is not entirely original. What ultimately reveals his confidence is the easy sensitivity paid to the negative space created between his balanced elements. Davis has added the shaping of the space between his repertory, no mean feat in a sculpture that subtly moves with shifting air currents. Stop 9. Ezekiel's Vision, MD 510, and Samurai, MD 490. Mark's visual vocabulary has an increasingly illustrative and graphic sensibility. A cascade of bundled spirals becomes a rolling set of waves under a cloudy sky in Ezekiel's Vision. The gold-leafed filigree becomes a licking tongue of a fire in Samurai. Neither wholly abstract nor obviously representational, the inclusion of these new, more playful graphic elements is an indication of a stronger narrative subtext in Mark's process. This playfulness continues in the many charming small stabiles featured in this recent body of work. Often composed of as few as 2 balanced elements on a sculptured base, they are deceptively simple snatches of the form and language of Mark's complex assemblages. Deceptive in that with fewer elements and a tighter composition, much more is at stake in every decision. The curve of a wire or the color of a balanced shape must be harmonious lest the composition fall apart. Stop 10. Proud Moment, 522, and a Calm Sweeping Gesture, MD 525. Gesture is the most charming characteristic of these stabiles. In Proud Moment, a blue-green crescent thrusts upward from a squat base, its weight both visible and real balanced by a red disc pierced by the sharp fulcrum on which the entire piece rotates. In a Calm Sweeping Gesture, a similar green disc balances a prong of flames, the small weight of the fire bellied by the seeming strain felt in the curve of its wire connection. The expressive titles, too, aid establishing the tenor of the work. Proud Moment underscores the confident upward sweep by the crescent horns, while a calm sweeping gesture unsettlingly reduces the image of fanning flames to a serene motion. The mobiles and stabiles of Davis are easily and have been previously compared to the work of Alexander Calder, the American artist credited with the development of the kinetic sculptural form during the interwar period of the 20th century. Mark credits his early forays into art, surprised by his talent at approximations of Calder's work and his pleasure in working with his hands, to a childhood fascination with Calder after discovering his work in a library. His early career clearly drew from the wire jewelry of Calder and brought the young artist a number of commissions and accolades. His sculptural jewelry carried in the finest of New York City retailers. Despite the success as a jeweler, shifting tastes corresponded with Mark's increased production of mobiles, the move reinforced by the unforeseen purchase of an early mobile work commissioned as a Tiffany & Company window display. Stop 11. Birth of the Moon, MD 491. In Birth of the Moon, the tension of form is thrown into sharp relief by the contrast between elements here wrought in sterling silver and the black painted brass. The lack of bright colors revealing Mark's subtle sensitivity to an economy of form in even his most expressive gestures. While the mobile and the stabile have been established by Calder, Mark's use of color and form bring to mind the compositions and abstractions of Henri Matisse, Jean Arp, Paul Klee, and Joan Miro. Like these often abstract and surrealist artists,